As you're no doubt aware, we are coming up on time for the census. It happens once every 10 years, and the census is a whole lot more important than you think. Joining us to talk about that from the Walker County, Georgia perspective, it's our former News 12 Now anchor and longtime friend, Joe Legee. Joe, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chip. Thanks for having me in today.
Absolutely. We are glad to have you here. From the financial point of view, it pays to take part in the census, correct?
It is. It's very important that everybody is counted, not just in Walker County, but all across our region. For Walker County, every person that's counted actually brings about $2,300 back into the community. And that money is distributed through like 316 different federal programs, many of them dealing with schools. So if you're not counted, it actually harms the community and can set the community up on a path for really not receiving the funds that it should over the course of 10 years.
Tell me what kind of participation that Walker County had in the census last year.
Well, back in 2010, the self-reporting phase for the census in Walker County was about 76%. Now that sounds kind of high when you think about it, 76%, but that means 24% didn't self-report. And the Census Bureau had to rely on those door knockers, to go around and try to locate somebody. Now, if they were unable to locate them, that means we missed out on thousands of residents being counted, which translates into millions of dollars over the course of a decade.
All right. Now, you mentioned a moment ago that for everybody that gets counted in Walker County, it's about $2,300 that goes into the community. Where does that money go to? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of people are talking about these school feeding programs that are going on right now with what's happening in the world. That is one of the main things that is funded by census data so that they're able to determine how many children need school funding. Head Start is funded through that. Also, school loans are funded through census data. Funding for emergency services, for fire and police protection. The list goes on and on. Healthcare is a big thing that's funded through the census. Also, neighborhood projects as well.
All right, a question as it relates to the census and this COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak we're going through now. I know a lot of the events that you folks had planned down in Walker County have obviously either been canceled totally or postponed. How are the folks like you in Walker County government dealing with this?
Yeah, I feel like we're trying to salvage what was about 6 months of work that is going to impact the community over a decade. We had several events that were planned. Obviously, most of those in the community have been canceled. So we really tried to take things more online now and really encourage people, since they are at home right now looking for something to do, to go ahead and fill out the census. It only takes about 10 minutes. The questions are pretty easy. It's basically, who lives in your house? Are you sure that's all the people that live in your house? Because maybe your brother-in-law's been staying over for 3 months. He should be counted as part of your house if that's the case. And then they're asking about ages of people that are in your house, and whether you're in a house, or if you're in a mobile home, or if you're in an apartment. Kind of what structure do you live in?
You and I think, were working together here 10 years ago when the last national census came out. And it was a lot more complicated then. As you mentioned a moment ago, I looked at the census that came to my house, or rather looked at it online I guess it was last week. I was kind of amazed at how brief it really is. So, Joe Legee, you tell us right now the best way to get this census completed for those great people who do live in Walker County.
The best way is to go online. You can get it done in just a matter of minutes. That's at census.gov. You probably received a mailing or two, or maybe 3 at this point, from the Census Bureau encouraging you to go online. There's usually a code that's attached to that. Some folks are still getting those standard forms that you fill out and send back in. You can also do it by phone, but the easiest way is to do it online. It's quick and it's over and done with. And Chip, I might point out that this is a constitutionally mandated thing by the U.S. Constitution. We've been doing it since 1790. It's actually required of all the citizens to report to the Census Bureau.
You were correct, and everything as it relates to the census is totally confidential. So, Joe, thanks so much for joining us via Skype. Hopefully, here over the coming weeks, we'll be able to have you back here in person in the studio as we look forward to the time when we can relax these social distancing measures. All right, Joe, I was going to give you a high five, but I'm not sure to go this way of the screen or that way of the screen. So, bam, there you go. Have a good rest of the day, my friend. We'll see you soon.
You too. Take care.
Stay with us. We are back with more of Let's Chat right after this.